Hello, Star Wars and unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba, with really bad hair, as I'm sure most of the world is at this point. And so therefore, I've decided to don my Celebration 3 Star Wars hat. Okay, it doesn't really go so well with this turquoise blue shirt, but what the heck? It's my show. I can wear what I want. So, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Smash the like button. Welcome to all of our new subscribers. We are here to do some unboxings, and we have some older multi-pack figures that we're excited to get unboxed for you today. Okay, the first one we're going to do is the Podracer pilots. This is a Toys R Us exclusive, and it features 6 pilots. And what's really cool about this is that it also each of them also come with a little flag. So I thought that was kind of a cool thing. If you recall, in episode 1, before the racers started the race, they had representatives carrying their flag. I don't know if it's their nation's flag or their species flag, whatever. And they came out onto the field. So these guys each come with the individual flag, which I thought was kind of a cool little accessory, something unusual that you don't usually find. So we have that one. And then after that, we're going to do the Clone Trooper Squad. And this one actually this is a Kmart exclusive. And this actually includes Obi-Wan Kenobi, but dressed in his trooper garb. Okay, so he's got some armor connected with him, so I thought that was a kind of a cool, different one to do. I try not to open, when it comes to multi-packs, I try not to open the packs that feature figures that I already have out in other areas. All right, I mean, we know that there are a ton of Luke Skywalkers, a ton of Obi-Wans, a ton of C-3POs and R2s and things of that nature. So if I have a set like this, for example, those figures I just mentioned, there is a set that is basically Luke and Obi-Wan looking at the message from Leia in Obi-Wan's, or sorry, I should say Ben Kenobi's little hovel. I didn't open that one because I felt like, well, we really have all those figures, and it seems kind of silly to just, open up figures that are essentially repacks when they're in this nice little diorama that kind of works. So when it comes to that, sometimes I make the conscious decision to not unbox. But when it comes to these, these troopers that are in different colors, I do not have them loose, and I don't have any of the Podracers loose. So I feel that would be a good one to do this week, or this episode. I keep saying this week. There are 2 episodes a week, and keep that in mind. And some of the episodes, I will tell you guys, check them all out. I mean, you look through my playlist, check out different things. I mean, I've noticed that certain I'm doing some analytics on my YouTube channel, and I've noticed that certain types of episodes, things like high-end collectibles like Sideshow and Hot Toys, tend to get a lot more viewership than, say, taking little small Lego pieces and putting them together. But the other thing I have to understand, folks, is that my number one goal is not to gain a huge level of subscribers. I think it's great if we do. I just feel like I just attribute that to just getting the word out and letting people know that this channel exists, just so people have a place to go that they enjoy seeing unboxings. That's what I do it for. I do it because I love my collection, and I love to share it with whoever is interested in sharing it and seeing it. So that's pretty much it. Now, yes, I'd like to get the word out there, but I'm not going to restrict myself to only certain types of videos just because they get the best viewers. So I will continue to do all different levels. These are older sets, and when new things come in, I will do those unboxings. I got a new thing coming in a couple of weeks to months. I'm going to hold off until they're all here. It's coming in pieces, and I will set that up for an unveiling in a future episode. So lots of different stuff. So let's, this is cool. These things, the unboxing these, they come with stands. Now this was as I said, a Toys R Us exclusive, and it was released in, I'm going to guess, I want to say 2007, but I will see. Is there not a year on this? I don't know. I'm trying to think when, actually it could be 2009. I'm trying to think of when 2011. I was wrong on both counts. 2011. I think it was in tandem with the 3D release of Star Wars Episode 1, which it was so much fun seeing that in the theaters again. Having seen it. Oh my, okay, here are our flags. Oh my, okay. They come with a few things. They come with, there was a time where these figures were coming with dice and they were coming with stands, like as if you were going to try to do like a role-playing game with them, so that's cool. And they come with a set of cards that kind of has their stats on the back. You know, I'll include like a close up of just the front of the card so you can see them. I'll be honest with you folks, I'm not a gamer. I never have been. I tried. My friend and I once when the West End Star Wars role playing game came out. My friend and I, you know, he was a role player. He tried to get me to do it. I just didn't. It just didn't take. I wanted to like it. I wish I could like it, but I just didn't. I just couldn't get into it. It was too. I don't know why. I have nothing against it. If people like it, that's great. And people devote their time and energy to it, whether it be Dungeons and Dragons or Star Wars or Star Trek or any of the other countless other games that are out there. I'm impressed. I don't scratch my head wondering what's wrong with you or anything like that. I just can't get into it, and I'm impressed by your devotion to it. And I know that there are some pretty prominent folks out there that have really put a huge devotion to gaming, and that's such a great thing. So anyway, Star Wars, Kenner/Hasbro, tried to get into the game with this by kind of including stands and including essentially. I'm gonna get these things all set up right, including stands and including some playable stats and things of that nature to allow people to use the figures as if it was some kind of a gaming kind of thing. Now this one, I have to keep my thing here. So we got, of course, these are a little sometimes harder to keep up. This is Mars Guo. And if you ever watch episode 1, you can watch the extended version, and you will find that the extended version kind of gives these guys their due, whereas I think the regular version does not. The regular version, sadly, only does like a few of them. Mars Guo. Now, if I'm not mistaken, is this going to happen? Well, let's see if I put this down. When I put this here, will that stay up? Maybe. Maybe not. All right. Now, I'm going to actually put those away. Now, the only other thing is, how do I know what his flag is? Do they show his flag? I don't know if they do. How am I supposed to know? Oh, no, I took them off. Well, that was bad on my part. I'll have to go back and look at the video itself and look at the front of it, and I'll be able to put the flags on the right way. But it looks as though, it looks like they have a little thing here that you can put the flag right next to them. So I don't know if these are the right flags. Please don't shoot me nasty gram emails if I didn't get that right. Now, everybody has a certain level. Oh my, this is interesting. Whoa! Oh my, his arms are all coming off. I remember this guy kind of getting ready to start. Oh my, where do I put everything? Holy cow. He's got an arm. Then he's got another. Oh no, that's this guy. All right, there's his other arm. Okay, I'll get some close-ups of all these guys as I'm doing it. But now I wish that they had created pod racing engines that these guys could all pilot. But that is, maybe that'll come someday. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to hold my breath for that. But now this is, get my thing here. Yeah, this is Gasgano, which I always liked Gasgano because he always seemed to me to be just a kind of an interesting fellow. And Gasgano, he's got his card here. I'm trying to think if he was the one that ended up flipping, or I don't know. There was a couple of them that did not survive the race, but Gasgano was a cool character. And then we've got Dudbolt. Not to be confused with Deadbolt. No, this is Dudbolt. Now, it appears that Dudbolt has a weapon, but I'm not exactly sure where this weapon goes. It looks as though it's kind of got like like maybe it's supposed to be wrapped around him? I don't even know. It's kind of weird. Some of these multi-packs, they don't really give you clear indicators on how you're supposed to do that. So I'm just going to try to stick that in there like that and just let him hold it. He always had a Muppety kind of look to him. And if you, for those of you Dudbolt fans, he made it, or his species, I should say, made an appearance, I believe, in Solo, a Star Wars story during the Sabak, or Sabak match. He was the one that kind of chewed up his cards. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then we have Clegg Holdfast. I always liked this guy's look. He was the guy that was kind of like, hello, yes, my people. At least that was the vibe I was getting, and I thought that was kind of cool. Comes with goggles, and but his goggles are kind of stuck in there. Come on there, get out of there, get out of there. Now, interestingly enough, ooh, are these his goggles? How the heck do you get them on? I'm gonna pop his head off and try to get his goggles on that way, because I can't figure out how to get his goggles on, and I don't think they show it. So we'll just do that. Pop his head back on, and there you go. Speaking of popping heads on, has anybody been trying their hand with customization? But I don't mean like super high-end customization. I mean like just the customization of taking heads off of certain figures and putting them on art. Anybody ever tried that? Leave a comment if you've had any success. If you even have photos, I'd love to see that as well. Here he is. Clegg Holdfast. All right, comes with his weapon in hand, ready to go. And our last but not least entry in the Podracer series is Teemto Pagalis. Teemto Pagalis. I've said this before on my channel. I'm going to say it again. I love the Star Wars names, and I hate the Star Wars names. Remember, folks, I'm an old fart, okay? And growing up, I remembered what the names were, okay? Yes, we had weird, very mysterious names like Leia and Han, Lando, okay? And we had things like Darth Vader, which were just syllables and vowels that we used, but not words that we were used to. But we also, who was the main character? Luke. Luke is a common name, or semi-common name. Who is his mentor? Ben. Not Obi-Wan at that time. I mean, he talked about it briefly, but he went by Ben. So Ben Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, okay? And even later on when they said Anakin, Anakin Skywalker. I mean, Anakin wasn't a huge name, but there was a very popular, or not popular, but it was a Ken Anakin, and I forget what he did and what he was involved with. But why the names? And then all the aliens, they were Walrus Man, Hammerhead, Greedo. I mean, I always remember thinking Greedo was trying to get money from Han. He was greedy, so they called him Greedo. As a kid, as a 6-year-old, that's where my logic took me. Okay. Then, you get into the episode 1, and it's like all the names are starting to go crazy with all of these characters. Teemto, Pagalis, Gascano, Clegg Holdfast, Mars Kuo, and Dud Bolt. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not bad names. I like the names. And then you had Mace Windu and Qui-Gon Jinn. Is it Qui-Gon Ginn? Is it Qui-Gon Ginn? Is it Qui-Gon Jinn? It's just all these really interesting things. So, but I'm not here to talk about that. I didn't know if I got a close-up of this. I'll just put this up again. I'll put all the close-ups on the side here. So, again, comes with the dice, comes with the cards, so you can do some battling with these. And I think the way this works, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in a lot of role-playing games, I always wondered, is it role-playing like you're playing a role, or is it role-playing because you have the roll of the dice? Mind blown, right? But, for example, say you have Clegg Holdfast, and it says Force ability is level 2. Battle skills level 8. Intelligence level 8. And then you might see Teemto Pagalis that has Force ability level 2, Battle skills 7, Intelligence 9. So and I think what would happen is that if you put these two together in some type of a conflict and you roll the dice, all right, now this dice doesn't have numbers or things on it, it has different symbols, which I'm sure mean certain things, probably in this little Galactic Battle Game Instruction Manual right here. But So I'm sure they have different things, but a lot of times if you have dice, you might have two characters, put them up together with those numbers, and you spin a roll of the dice, and if the dice rolls a 6, all right, well, if a guy rolls a 6 and his character has, you're doing something, a battle of strength, and this person has a 9 and the other, on the card, and the other person has a 14, and you roll a 6, it's like rolling and your guy has a 9, that's 6 plus 9. And the other guy has 14. So, it's kind of that kind of math game, which I was never good at math, so I was never into that. But Nothing wrong with that. And I'm giving you the bare bones. All right. If you want to learn more, you can look it up. There's plenty of channels about Dungeons and Dragons. That Dungeons and Dragons is like the quintessential, like the mother of all, the grandmother of all, role playing games. So if you're going to start and you like fantasy, that's a great place to start. But there are ways that you can do it with just about every genre, in one capacity or another. You just got to look for it. All right, now we got the Clone Trooper Squad, the Kmart exclusive. Clone Troopers. All right, so we got ARC Trooper Commander, Obi-Wan Kenobi, General Obi-Wan Kenobi, Clone Scuba Trooper, and Clone Trooper. When armed with Clip Quad, a Clone Trooper becomes a mobile piece of anti-personnel and anti-armor blaster artillery. So these are basically just, these guys come with their toys, and you like to present them. So, and again, we're dealing with the dreaded rubber band. Kids, don't try this at home. It's a little dangerous. And I don't think these guys come... Well, seriously? Oh my god. All right. He has this little rubber... Oh, there it is. Good. Let me just get them all out first. Seeing that it's 2000... what's the year on this one? I believe I'm going to say... Yeah, 2009. That's good because when 2009... the Clone Wars cartoon was out and about. And... these look as though they're realistic, or at least semi-realistic. I'll get back to that in a second. This comes with an interesting kind of card. It doesn't look like it's a playing card or any kind. It's just a fancy way to store everything. However, oh my, it does. Sorry. You'll see why I'm laughing in a minute. Thank you. He comes with a joust. Let me read this. Clone troopers battled the droid army on planets throughout the galaxy. Jedi generals such as Obi-Wan Kenobi lead sector armies, working closely with clone commanders to defeat the separatist threat to the Republic. The ARC, or Advanced Recon Commando troopers, are one of the elite units created for special missions and specialized weapons and gear developed to meet the combat needs of the troopers. Okay, nowhere in that explanation does it say why there is, because the picture clearly shows Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I'll put that in the close-up photos too. The picture clearly shows Obi-Wan Kenobi essentially holding the joust. I am very curious. I don't seem to recall if there was a Clone Wars episode where Obi-Wan was jousting. I'm not saying it wasn't there. I'm just saying I don't recall it. And I'm also thinking about the other Clone Wars, the Genndy Tartakovsky, excuse me. I don't remember that one as well. So it's kind of hard to envision that. So we'll see. Now I also wanted to see, do these helmets come off? No. Looks like these are permanently helmeted clone troopers. This is the scuba guy. Sorry. These rubber bands, man, they keep them very, very secure, which is good for the purposes of, making sure that they stay in the package the right way. Because I got to tell you, some of these battle packs, after a few years, remember, they were not, I don't think that their number one goal of designing the packaging was for people to put them on display. Their number one goal was to make them very enticing for people to take them and actually open them up and play with them. So, believe it or not, we have that aspect of it. So some of them, after a few years, began to kind of come loose and fall apart. So, all right, very cool. Okay, now, so let's just kind of walk through each one of these. Okay, so we got our ARC Trooper Commander. And now these guys always came with the skirts. All right, I shouldn't call them skirts, but they came with this kind of like almost a kilt kind of idea, which I thought was kind of a cool concept. Except these guys always make me think of Coyote Mundi's death in episode 3, because I think those are the ones, or at least ones like this, that were kind of pulled back behind him and then ended his life, which is not cool. So then we have the clone trooper with a clip quad, which is essentially, and I think I have some other figures that have this as well. This is essentially, now If this, I gotta say, I'm not a very violent man. Okay, I mean, I enjoy Star Wars, and but I'm not one that feels the need to, to fire armed weapons of any kind. I used to. I was actually a marksman. I did some, some marksmanship things in the Boy Scouts back in my youth, and I did enjoy it. I enjoyed, but I wasn't really in love with the actual idea of picking up a rifle and shooting. I mean, I just enjoyed trying to hit the target. So I did that. And, it was enjoyable. But I look at this thing, and this is one thing that I think to myself, that would be cool. To actually have this thing like on your, and it would, just go, it would be fun. The only problem with this figure is that if you try to stand it up like this, I am pretty sure it's going to fall forward, okay? Again, the weight of the gun is just way too much. This would benefit from a stand. Okay, now if I pull it back a little bit, it does seem to counter it pretty well. It does have ankles, so you can pull back the ankles and do pretty well with it. But again, not all the time. See, I'm trying to get this, but it's like, stay. So then the next thing you do is you just kind of tilt it down, and then it kind of acts as a cane or a crutch that it can lean on. So that's not so bad either. So next we have the Scuba Trooper. Now, in contrast, this guy has the flippers. The flippers do come off, but I always liked that, and I liked that they were when Star Wars delved into the water atmospheres. Obviously, atmosphere, you know what I mean. But the water environments, which I thought was always fun because you don't always see that. You saw it in Camino, and then you saw it, in the Clone Wars episodes, and they're really easy to stand up. So, kudos to them on that. All right, and then lastly but not leastly, we've got Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I'm going to actually put his little helmet on him because I'm pretty sure that even in 20 years or however long I'm around still collecting, I am going to be able to pick up on the fact that this is Obi-Wan Kenobi because he has... Well, you silly goose, you. Losing figures left and right here. All right. He's got the joust, and he's got the brown cape, and that's really cool. So let's see if we can get him set back up again. Thank you. So he's got his saber. He's got his joust. I just need him in a steed. I need some kind of a horse, but that's pretty cool. So, I like the different types of figures, and again, I don't have these actual figures out. There might be, now again, these appear to have somewhat... It's kind of interesting. I can't really tell just by looking at them if they are the cartoon Clone Wars or the 2D cartoon Clone Wars, the 3D cartoon Clone Wars, or the movie Clone Wars. Okay, I will say that there was a time when the early battle packs, anything with multi-pack figures, that it seemed like the quality of the sculpts was a little bit lacking. Like this Obi-Wan looks very strange. I don't know how else to describe him. Kind of has a flatter face off to the side. Kind of almost looks like a Quasimodo-esque thing. I just think that it could be just this figure. But I've noticed that on the battle packs, some of the figures look a little odd. They look like they're just not of the same caliber as when they release a single figure individually. I don't know if that's just a coincidence or what have you. But the five Podracer figures, all really good sculpts, all really cool looking. Again, I just wish we had Podracers to go with them. The 4 characters, the 3 clones, and Obi-Wan dressed as a clone, that's really cool. That gives Obi-Wan a new kind of look that you only saw briefly here and there in the Clone Wars cartoon, both 2D and 3D. You never really saw it in the movies. So I'm happy to have that, happy to have those up. And that'll do it for this week's episode of Darth Tuba Star Wars Unboxing Show. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button, check out all my videos, folks. Check out my playlist. Again, welcome to our new subscribers. We are past 6,000 subscribers, so that's all really awesome. Welcome to everybody, and I hope you enjoy it, and spread the word, let other people know about it. So thank you so much, and until next time, may the Force be with you.